If you know exactly what you want to be in life, you will become it. And that is your punishment. That is a quote that has caused great discourse on TikTok. And by great discourse, I mean I'm literally receiving hate comments as we speak because of a TikTok I posted talking about this quote. The quote is by Oscar Wilde, who was an esteemed 19th century author and playwright. The full quote is, "If you want to be a grocer or a general or a politician or a judge, you will invariably become it. That is your punishment. If you never know what you want to be, if you live in what some might call the dynamic life, but what I call the artistic life, if each day you are unsure of who you are and what you know, you will never become anything, and that is your reward." The people hated it. The people didn't like this quote. And the discourse comes in the form of many different hate comments coming from seemingly angered netizens who disagree with the sentiment that this quote provides. Or in my opinion, they disagree with how they perceived the quote. Hey everyone, welcome to another Selfish Sunday. I am if you're watching the video version, I'm in regular clothing today. The last podcast episode, yes, I was in a Dipper Pines cosplay. I do not want to talk about it. Go get a drink. Today we're talking about how I almost got canceled. No, I'm kidding. We're talking about a controversial TikTok that I made, and I love controversy. I think it's great when people have opinions on things. I think when people just go with the flow and listen and don't form their own thoughts and opinions on things, I think it's freaking beta and annoying. Be your own person, please. I'm begging. I would love if everyone just had a thought in their mind for once. Please. I think this is going to be a good podcast episode. I have my drink, of course. I have an iced latte. So go get a drink, go get snacks, grab your girls, grab your florals. You know the drill. Let me read out for you what I said in my TikTok, and then we'll get into the comments, okay? So here's what I said. I started the same way I started this episode, which was a shortened, paraphrased version of the quote. If you know exactly what you want to be in life, you will become it, and that is your punishment. That's an Oscar Wilde quote, and it's so true and so validating. If you have your whole life mapped out and you know exactly what you want from it, you have a solid career path, financial planning, all that, that's the life you're gonna have. There's no room for adaptation. That's just what's gonna happen. Maybe you're like me and you just graduated and you have so many different ideas of what you want from life because it's infinite and there's actually so many different possibilities. That's not a bad thing, and you don't have to be scared of it. Yes, there's uncertainty, but there's excitement in uncertainty. Certainty is boring. We're going to figure it out. We have our whole lives ahead of us, and we're in this together. Here's what netizens had to say. "This just sounds like an unemployed person trying to make themselves feel better. So now I am not allowed to know what I want and be determined? I don't get it. I'm employed with a 401k. What does this mean?" Guys, I'm biting my tongue as I read this. And I have Twitter fingers, okay? That's my problem. I bite back. Don't try me, because if you leave a stupid comment on my videos, I will reply and clock you because it makes no sense. Just as all my videos are open to criticism and, say what you want about them, whatever. If I have a bad take, call me out on it. If I do something cancelable, cancel me. Just as that is true, it is also true that if you leave a dumbass comment on my page, I get to reply and I get to go crazy on you, okay? Someone said, "I love the perspective on uncertainty, but it doesn't have to undermine those who have a clear direction in life. Heart." I replied, "Not my intention at all. I have numerous comments explaining my point of view." And what my point of view is that having a specific trajectory in mind and not leaving room for any adaptation or for anything to change, and not being open, lacking openness in your path to the endpoint that you eventually want to reach, I don't think that's productive. I think it really limits you and your potential. What's to say that there's not something even greater out there than your current goal in mind? But because you're so closed off to that idea, because you just have this idea of I need to hit this one thing, you may never realize all the different avenues and journeys and potential and amazing things that could have been. In no way am I trying to undermine ambition, undermine having a clear focus in life. Hi. I am ambition and clear focus in my life. I have a very clear vision of where I want to be eventually. But I also know that there are an infinite number of paths that can get me there. And also, I'm open to my end goal changing, because whatever is best for me will find me. As long as I'm open to the right things happening and I'm putting in the work and taking the steps needed, who cares how I get there? When Oscar Wilde says, and I'm paraphrasing, "If you know exactly what you want to be in life, you will become it, and that is your punishment," it's not saying that it's a bad thing to have a purpose and direction. What I think he was trying to get at, and what I think, people are sort of intentionally misunderstanding, dare I say, is that a lot of people have this hyper-focused path in mind that they will never dare stray off of because they're scared. A lot of people choose a path of security more often than, like, a lot of people honestly choose their plan B or plan C or D. Because if they were to choose their plan A, they'd be taking a way more risky path to the end goal they want in life. If you stick on this one path that you may be settling for, maybe it's your dream, maybe it's not, it doesn't matter. If you're not leaving any room for adaptation in that, it's gonna be, in my opinion, a boring existence because your only purpose is hitting that thing. What about all the other amazing things in life that you could enjoy? And or like, what about, the different paths, the different journeys, the different people you would meet? You're not going to get that because you're so fixated on hitting this one goal. You can have purpose while also being open to, different avenues, different doors opening for you. One thing I think this quote really portrays is the fact that living in the moment is one of the best ways to live your life. And especially living life in the moment whilst going after the things you really love and enjoy. It's actually a reward. And as much as it can sound like uncertainty, if you were just sort of going along with life and, saying what happens will happen, a lot of people can see that as, oh my gosh, they're a free spirit, but I could never do that because it seems so unstable. I think both can be true at the same time. Again, I think you can be a free spirit that also has goals in life and has aspirations. Life is meant to be lived. Okay, I feel like that's a first and foremost. And obviously you can live life however you want. If you really want to just hyperfixate, get that one job, that's your only goal, cool. I think it can be said that you may find more fulfillment in keeping an open mind and being open to the idea that there are numerous things that could be calling your name, and open to the idea that you can live whatever life you want to live because it's your life. You don't have to settle for a plan B. You don't have to explore options that you didn't want to explore because it's the safe route. You can just do what you want to do, and that's going to be your reward. You will be rewarded by living life. And maybe it won't come in the form of landing that dream job, what once was your dream job. Maybe it will come, maybe it won't. Regardless of if you hit that goal, the journey will make everything worth it. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to hear. For a lot of people, that sounds like, it's only worth it if I can make it happen. If I don't reach my goal, everything will have not been worth it. It will have all been a waste of time, a waste of energy. I think that's honestly really shit mindset. I don't think that's going to get you any places. The journey is where everything's at. That's where the life lessons are. That's where connections are. That's where you learn yourself. That's where you hit your lowest points and also learn how to bounce back from it and reach your peaks. The journey is 99% of reaching a goal. Reaching a goal is one moment, okay? The journey can last many, many years. And so closing yourself off to the idea of enjoying it and being open to the journey going different directions, I think that really limits the happiness and fulfillment you'll feel. And also I think that's a waste of your life, honestly. Because then what? You spent decades trying to hit this goal. You hit it, but you never took the time to enjoy the journey. You didn't take the time to embrace the people around you and live life with them because you were so focused on hitting this one thing, and you said to yourself, it's all going to be worth it once I hit this one thing. Well, you hit it, but what do you have to show for it? Was it worth it when you missed out on your best friend's baby shower? When you didn't show up to your family's major life events? When you yourself didn't go after that big dream you had when you were younger? Was it worth it then? If still at this point you think, yes, it was worth it then. I want the safe path. I want to take this one safe path that I know I will reach my goal in. Then do it. I cannot tell you not to. Obviously, I am some freaking rando on the internet. I just think you should think about that decision. And also, I think my opinion is you can do whatever you want. What I'm trying to say is you can do whatever you want. So if that really is what you want to do it. It just oftentimes feels like something that people settle for or something they're told they have to do, and so they do it. And I think that was really crazy is a lot of the hate comments I got were people talking down on people who felt uncertain in life. And this quote, as much as I think it's about go after your dreams, go after your true dreams, be a creative if you want to be, go do what you want, live life, all that, everything I've said up until this point, I also think it's a major comfort to people who have zero direction in life and they don't even know what dream they want to pick, because there are so many different ways you can live life. The fact that people were talking down on those people in my comment section was so aggravating, in my opinion. So this person is obviously feeling already insecure about the fact that they don't really know what to do in life. And you're going to be condescending to them? I don't know. I don't fuck with that. Because if this is a quote that brought you comfort, that's great. I think as long as you're, and this comes with any piece of art ever, it's all up to interpretation. And my firm belief is that you can interpret art however you want, take whatever you want from it. The only problem comes from when you start interpreting things with malicious intent. People started weaponizing this quote against other people in my comment section. It's like, hey, so let's not do that, psycho, sick freak. And maybe my interpretation is completely wrong. Maybe this is like equivalent to Oscar Wilde saying YOLO in the 19th century. But I'm taking what I want from it, and I'm just trying to, take a positive message from it. And I think this is just how I feel. This is just how I feel. At the end of the day, biggest life lesson is just do what you want. Be open to life, because life is supposed to be lived. I think there's a big emphasis, especially with capitalism and everything, there's a big emphasis on becoming something. Oh my God, you have to become something. You have to make something of yourself. You can just be you. I promise, nothing else is needed from you. You just need to be you. You don't need to become anything. You can just be. You don't have to feel unfulfilled or unsatisfied with life because you haven't made a name for yourself, or because you feel behind in life, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can just be. You existing is already enough in this lifetime. You don't need to become anything else, and you especially don't need to put pressure on yourself to make insane things happen in life, especially insane things that you don't want any part of. Like your parents telling you need to be a doctor or lawyer or whatever. No, you be yourself, and that's all you need. You'll get the good energy back by just working on yourself and trying to be the best self you can be. And I think you living in this life will be infinitely more exciting and adventurous and worth it than dedicating yourself to this one narrow path without any openness to other things happening. It's not about whether you have direction or don't have direction. It's about the journey, and it's always about the journey. That's what's going to bring you fulfillment and joy and success in life. If you really do, live in the present and enjoy what's going on, you're going to find work that you're passionate about. You're going to be able to live a life that is so balanced and amazing and full of love and happiness and also stability, eventually. That will come with time. You don't have to settle for less. Go after what you actually want and be whoever you want to be. Thanks for listening to this episode of Selfish. I hope it was interesting and thought-provoking and helpful, especially if you needed a little boost, a little pick-me-up. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to. Just keep an open mind. I love you so much. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Love you. Bye-bye.